Billy Loomis. Sidney is a wreck. Her friend's dead and the house turned upside down. Then Billy stumbles down the stairs, shirt covered in blood, looking half dead. She gasps, thinking her boyfriend barely escaped. He collapses in front of her, whispers her name, and for a second she feels relief. But then he wipes his shirt with his hand and shows her it's only corn syrup. The grin on his face says everything. He pulls a gun, points it right at her, and suddenly the truth is out. Billy has been behind it all. He explains how he and Stu planned everything. Every call, every kill, his motive, revenge. His mom left because of Sidney's mom, and he's been angry ever since. All this is payback. He lays it out like it's some kind of story, saying they'll frame her dad for the murders. Sidney can't believe it. The guy she trusted has been the killer the whole time. When she finally fights back, Billy gets stabbed, but even bleeding out, he tries to attack her again. That's when Sidney grabs the gun and shoots him straight in the head. Stu Macher. Right after Billy drops the act, Stu joins in. He rips off the mask, smiling like a lunatic. Unlike Billy, who is cold and serious, Stu is all over the place. He laughs, makes jokes, and acts like the whole thing has been one big game. He brags about the kills like they were nothing. Then he stabs himself on Billy's command to make it look like they survived the massacre. He giggles through the pain, blood soaking his shirt, muttering about how his parents are going to kill him when they find out. Sidney just stares in shock, realizing the guys she thought were her friends are completely insane. When things fall apart and Billy goes down, Stu panics. He chases Sidney through the house, waving the knife and yelling. She fights back, and when he corners her, she pushes a heavy TV right onto his head. Sparks fly, the glass shatters, and it crushes him instantly. Stu twitches under the set and then goes still, his laughter finally cut off. Debbie Loomis. At Windsor College, Sidney thinks she's finally got the killer cornered. The mask comes off and it's Debbie Salt, the pushy reporter who's been hanging around the whole time. But Sidney's jaw drops when she realizes who she really is. Billy Loomis's mother. Debbie's face is full of rage. She blames Sidney for Billy's death and says this is her way of making things right. She explains her plan. Kill Sidney, frame Cotton Weary, and walk away as the survivor. The calm reporter act is gone, and now she's ranting, waving a gun around, her voice shaking with anger. Sidney tries to reason with her, but Debbie isn't listening. The two of them struggle across the stage, crashing into props. Just when it looks like Debbie might actually finish her off, Cotton steps in and shoots her. The bullets slam into her and she stumbles before collapsing on the stage. Sidney stares down at her, realizing this whole nightmare came from Billy's family. If you enjoyed the video so far, make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a like on the video. Mickey Altieri. Sidney barely has time to process Debbie before Mickey rips off the other mask. He's been right there the whole time, pretending to be her friend. Mickey is grinning, almost excited that he's been caught. Instead of trying to hide, he brags. He says he wanted to get caught because being famous for the murders is exactly what he wants. He talks about how the media will eat up the story, how people will blame movies for violence, and how he'll become a legend. Sidney watches in disbelief as he rambles about fame and sequels, laughing like this is the greatest moment of his life. Debbie glares at him, annoyed by his theatrics, but Mickey doesn't care. When the fight breaks out, Sidney and Cotton both shoot him. He staggers back, blood pouring from his chest, but even then he tries to lunge again. They put him down for good, and he collapses on the stage. His dream of fame dies right there. Roman Bridger. On the set of Stab 3, Sidney comes face to face with Ghostface again. The mask comes off, and this time it's Roman Bridger, the director she's been working with. Her heart sinks when he tells her the truth. He's her half-brother. Their mom abandoned him, and he's been furious ever since. Roman admits he's the one who pushed Billy Loomis to start the original killings, bragging that he's been behind it all from the beginning. He's jealous, bitter, and says Sidney stole the life that should have been his. As he rants, his voice rises, and it's clear this has been building up for years. Their fight tears through the set, props crashing as they go at each other with knives. Sidney stabs him, but he refuses to go down. He charges her again, screaming until Dewey shows up and shoots him. Roman collapses, finally beaten, his mask slipping from his hand. His reveal makes Sidney realize the killings have always been more personal than she knew. Jill Roberts. Back in Woodsboro, Sidney is shocked when her own cousin Jill takes off the mask. Jill smiles like she just won the lottery. She tells Sidney that she's sick of living in her shadow. Sidney always gets the attention, the fame, the sympathy, and Jill wants it for herself. She explains that her plan is to survive the massacre, make herself the star, and ride the wave of fame. Then she starts throwing herself into tables, ripping out her hair and stabbing herself to make it look like she barely escaped. She's laughing, completely obsessed with her new role as the victim. Sidney can only watch in horror. Jill thinks she's finally outsmarted everyone, but she makes the mistake of bragging too long. At the hospital, Sidney manages to turn the tables. She shocks Jill with the paddles, electrocuting her. Jill screams, her body jerking until she finally collapses. Her dream of fame ends right there on the hospital floor. Charlie Walker. Right alongside Jill is Charlie, the film geek who always seemed a little too into horror movies. He pulls off the mask, grinning nervously but clearly proud of himself. He admits he wanted to be part of something bigger, part of the new rules of horror remakes. He talks about how horror killers are cooler now, smarter, and he wanted that kind of recognition. He looks at Jill like she's his partner, even maybe someone he loves, but Jill doesn't feel the same. As he's talking, she suddenly stabs him. His eyes go wide and he gasps in shock, blood pouring from his chest. He stumbles back, trying to speak, but no words come out. Jill just smirks at him as he collapses. Charlie's reveal ends not with triumph but betrayal. He thought he was part of the story, but Jill was only using him. Richie Kirsch. Years later, in Scream 2022, Sam Carpenter's boyfriend Richie unmasks himself. The sweet, supportive guy she trusted flips instantly. He laughs and explains that he and Amber wanted to save the Stab franchise. The sequels were garbage, so they decided to make their own legacy with real blood. He says Sam's connection to Billy Loomis makes her perfect for their requel. Richie's calm, smug attitude makes the betrayal sting even more. Sam stares at him, shaking with rage. Richie thinks he's in control, waving the knife and acting like it's all already decided. But Sam snaps. She unleashes everything on him, stabbing him again and again in a frenzy. Richie screams, begging, but she doesn't stop until he collapses. Blood pools around him as he lies still. His big plan to become the savior of Stab ends with him cut down by the very woman he thought he controlled, Amber Freeman. Right next to Richie, Amber pulls off her mask. Her face is wild, her eyes wide, and she's practically shaking with adrenaline. She mocks Sidney and Gale, calling them washed-up survivors. She screams about how the new generation will tell the story better. She waves her knife like she's daring them to fight her. The house becomes a battleground, with Amber lunging, laughing, and screaming, but her fury gets the better of her. During the fight, she ends up covered in flammable liquid, and one spark is all it takes. Flames roar up her body, and she shrieks, stumbling as fire engulfs her. Even on fire, she tries to attack again, charging out of the kitchen like a burning ghost. But Gale shoots her, and Amber collapses, still smoldering. Her reveal ends in smoke and flames, her manic energy finally extinguished. Wayne Bailey. In Scream 6, the killer reveal is even crazier. Detective Wayne Bailey, the cop who seemed to be on their side, pulls off the mask. He's Richie's dad, and he's furious. He says Sam ruined everything by killing his son, and now he's going to make her pay. Wayne admits he trained his family to help him, turning his daughter and even Ethan into killers. His face is twisted with anger as he rants about family loyalty and revenge. The badge on his chest means nothing anymore. He's a father out for blood. The fight turns violent fast, knives flashing, blood hitting the floor. Wayne screams about legacy, but Sam flips the script. She puts on the Ghostface mask herself and stabs him over and over. Wayne gasps, stumbling back, blood pouring down his chest until he finally collapses. His dream of revenge dies with him. Quinn Bailey. The group is stunned when Quinn walks out alive. They all thought she was dead earlier, her body faked by her father. She smiled, holding the mask, and taunts them for falling for the trick. Her voice is mocking as she says she did it all for Richie. She charges at Tara, knife in hand, but the fight doesn't go her way. Tara and Sam fight back hard, slamming her against the walls and driving the blade into her. Quinn screams, her smirk vanishing in an instant. She gasps for breath, stumbling before collapsing. Her reveal doesn't end with triumph, but with her lying dead on the floor, her loyalty to family costing her everything. Ethan Landry. Ethan, the shy roommate, takes off his mask and suddenly, the nice, quiet act is gone. He sneers at Tara, mocking her for ever trusting him. He says he's been part of the Bailey plan the whole time. His voice is sharp now, filled with bitterness. He rants about family, about blood, and how they're stronger together. Then he lunges at Tara. The fight is fast and brutal, blood spraying as they clash. Tara doesn't hesitate, she drives a knife right through his mouth. Ethan gurgles, choking on blood, his eyes wide in shock. He twitches violently and then goes still. His reveal is quick but chilling, proving even the quietest friend can turn out to be a killer. Jason Carvey. Before the Baileys show their hand, we get another killer in Scream 6. Jason Carvey, a college kid obsessed with Ghostface, unmasks himself after killing his professor. He's smiling, excited, bragging to his roommate about carrying on the legacy. He talks about how he's going to be part of horror history. But then another Ghostface appears. Jason looks confused, laughs nervously, and then the knife slams into him. He gasps, clutching his chest as blood gushes out. He collapses, betrayed by the very mask he worshipped. His reveal is over almost as soon as it begins, showing just how disposable the killers can be in this world.